everyone, Paul ISM. Welcome to another At the Bench update. So before we get going today, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click the little bell notifications, get notified of all our latest videos. Click the like button and leave a comment. I do read and reply to all the comments and appreciate everybody that takes the time to leave a comment on the channel. And of course, if you scroll up in the description, there's a link to a big long list of all the items I use in my videos. So if you see anything, you should be able to find it in there. Right, so I didn't think it had been so long since the last bench update, but it has. It's been over 3 weeks. I was like, wow, really? It's been that long? In the meantime, we've done a couple of parts on the Challenger tank. We've done a decanting video as well, all kind of from the same video, basically. And I thought, well, I said I'd come back halfway through the Challenger, and there it is. So we'll go overhead in a minute and have a little look. It's coming along well. As I said all along, it's not a kit for the beginner at all. It's quite a complex kit to build. Not necessarily high power count, but it is quite complex, some of the steps along the way. So, yes, it's definitely for more experienced armour modelers, that's for sure. But it's a great kit. Needs a little bit of care and attention in certain places. If you're not watching my build videos and you're interested, they're on the channel from 6 days ago and a couple of weeks back, I think it is. You can go over there and have a look. So that's ongoing. The next part of that should be up in a few days, hopefully. We've got the Alfa Romeo 155 on the way, which we'll look at again in a minute too. And that's coming along well. Now, with those builds happily underway, there's a couple of builds that I, A, need to, and B, want to get back to doing. And there's one build I'm going to put away for now. Doesn't mean I won't get back to it, but it's too much stuff on the go. I don't cope with things like that very well. With what's happened over the last few months, I'm all over the shop, with you and P doing mad busy, again, all over the place. So I'm going to concentrate on a few things. I want to get the Challenger done, the video build done for that. Get the Alfa out of the way. We're then going to start the Ford Mustang build we were talking about. We're going to do, hopefully I remember to put this in, the Volt scheme. We're going to do it out of the box. I've seen the Volt scheme. I found the decals at Indicals. I've ordered them. The paint I've got from Gravity. Antonio Gravity very, very kindly offered to send me the paint, which was very, very kind of him. So we're going to do this scheme. It's pretty striking. It's probably the best looking scheme out there at the minute. I've seen a few of them. And if you know me, you know I'm a little bit strange that I don't like to do out-of-the-box schemes unless I'm one of the first people to do it. So, yes, I'm going to avoid the grey or white scheme for now. There's a few others in decals I do, but they're a bit bland and a bit meh. So, the Volt's the best looking one, so that's what we're going to do. We'll do it out the box, by the decals and the paint. So that's the next video build after the Challenger. So that's that. Norman's also proposed a T55 buddy build, or any of the variants, Tyran, etc, etc. So that's going to be planned ahead as well. I'm not sure we're going to start it. I'd like to do it in the next few weeks or so, because I'll be ready to start another piece of armour very, very soon. But I need to chat with the guys. We'll give it a long date though. We'll probably do 3, maybe 4 months on this one, because some of the mini art kits are ridiculous how much is in there. So that's going to be proposed. So I'll pop that up on Facebook on my Paul ISM page and on here when we know about it. So there, the next video build, Ford Mustang. My next piece of armour will be the T55 Tyran. Now, 2 builds I really need and want to get back to. Number one's the P38 from Tamiya. I started it. I was enjoying it. It's just so overwhelming lately. It's kind of like, yeah, I need to put that away and build my comfort zone, which is cars and armour at the minute, because it keeps me staying, keeps me coming back to the bench. So I want to get back to the P38. It's not a video build, it's nothing, it's just my own build, and I'll plod along. So what we'll probably do is get the T55 build out of the way and then go back to the P38. What I want to do after the Mustang build is go back to that Honda RC213 build. Now, there's a caveat kind of dilemma with that one. Again, I'm strange. I don't like building things that I see loads of the same scheme out. Challenger, brilliant. I'm one of the first people to get it and start it. I've seen a few finished, and I'm more than happy to finish mine off. Now, the Mark VDS scheme, I have seen tons of them finished recently. And I mean loads. I have a different scheme for this bike. I have Cal Crutchlow's Castrol bike and decal scheme. I am thinking of switching from the Mark VDS scheme to the Castrol scheme. It's a bit more plain, but still it's a Castrol scheme. Again, tobacco, alcohol, oil sponsors, they're all iconic for me. I love them, especially Castrol. So I may switch it up and change to that. I'm not 100% sure yet. I don't know. But I really want to get back to it. Like I've said before, with the bike build, we did the 211, the LCR Honda build. Really enjoyed that. Beautiful bike. Sits pride of place in my cabinet there. And I really enjoyed it. Now, with bike builds, for me, they're so in-depth. And the amount of work needed. I always build one and have a little bit of a break. Normally 3-4 builds or a few months in between. I've never built one straight after another. I just never have the mojo. For some reason, after building that one, I thought, let's jump straight in with a bigger video build and go for it. And it sapped the mojo. Straight away, it was gone. I was having trouble at the time with not being able to see. I need to get an eye test, so glasses done. And then we had Christmas and things like that in the way. Everything just got in the way, and it just took my mojo down. So I think we're still going to add all the extras we've got. Or certainly most of them anyway. But I'm thinking of switching schemes. So let me know what you think of that in the chat. I know a few people have bought it. I don't want to disappoint people who want to build along with me. But it might just give me that urge to build it as well. So it's a pretty bike. It's this one. Well, it should be this one anyway. I'll put a picture up. And everyone loves Cal. You know, British rider. Likes falling off a lot. But he's getting better and better as he goes. He's fearless. That's the thing, you see. You run out of talent rather than fear. But it's a good looking bike, so I am considering that. So we will get back to that bike build. I am seriously wanting to get back to it. But I think we'll do the Mustang first, then we'll look at getting back to the bike. We'll decide about the decal scheme on that in the meantime, and we'll see how that goes. So yes, I've got a lot planned. I like having it planned. The problem is having too much there, because I've got the bike, the plane, a tank, a car, and the next one, which is the 12 scale McLaren. Now I've had that kit with all its extras for about 5 years now. I'm in no rush to build it at all. My compressor, 2 seconds. I'm in no rush to build it whatsoever. It's a dream kit of mine. It'll never be sold. I'm thinking of, it's already boxed. It's under here. This is the problem now. All my in progress kits are on a shelf under the bench, and this box is huge, and it's taking up space for other projects that should be under there. So I'm thinking of boxing it back up, putting it away for now, and we'll come back with it when we cleared the deck a little bit. We got rid of the Honda bike build and so on, that I could concentrate and enjoy it a bit more, rather than being a hump on my back and worrying about it like, oh no, I need to do this. Because sadly with this hobby quite a lot, I model to please other people. And as I said the other day in a live stream, most of my work is dictated by this, by videos and the camera. Like, I was working on the Alfa the other day to get it to paint, so I could get that finished myself, so I could crack on with the Challenger and get the next video build up, because it's only one more part and it's done. So I don't be living stressing like, oh my god, my dream build's there, I am not touching it, and I'll let myself down, because that's how I feel. Very strange like that. So I'm thinking of boxing it all back up, just putting it away, out of the way, and it'll be got back to at some point in time. The problem is, you lot don't forget a thing, and everybody just keeps asking me, how's the bike going, how's McLaren going, and that not adds pressure, but again, I feel like I'm letting people down, and it's the wrong way to think, because it's my hobby, this. But it's how I do things. So that's what I'm going to do. There's a couple of things, yeah, I'm definitely going to put the McLaren away. We're going to crack on with the Chally and the Alfa. We'll get the Mustang out of the way, because I'm looking forward to that build. It looks phenomenal. It looks like it'll be very, very good. I think we'll crack on with the T55, and then we'll come back afresh with that bike and move on with part 3, I think it would be. It's a part 3. But I am considering that decal change. So let me know. The Mark VDS scheme is a much nicer looking bike. I will admit that. And maybe in a few months you won't see any more and I'll stick with it. But I've got 2 schemes. I've already got the Cal Crutchlow scheme there. And we will see how that goes. So let me know your thoughts on that one. I've waffled on for forever about this, because I had a lot of thoughts lately. I've had a lot of time to think and contemplate things. And yeah, I think that's what I want to do for my own good and for getting some interest out there as well. So if you're interested in taking part in T55 and variant buddy build, let me know. Well, it's a group build it'll be. I'm going to probably post it on ISN today. I want to speak to Norman about it because it was Norman's idea and I don't want to take over his idea, but I wouldn't mind starting it pretty soon-ish because the Challenger will be done. I want to keep the armour rolling along, literally keep on track. So we will announce more about that when we know. Right, I've waffled on long enough. Let's go look what I've been working on. Right, so what's on the bench at the minute? Right, two things. We've got the right field Challenger, which you can see just there. Part 2 of that build is up on the channel. You can go look at that. Hopefully we get part 3 up the end of this week coming. And get that one done and dusted. We've got a plan for a buddy build, or a group build to be honest, which I've either talked about already or I'm about to when this part finishes. But what we got on the go as well is the Tamiya 24 scale Alfa 155. So this is the Martini scheme one. And this is where we are currently at right now. This is all the work we've done nothing on the chassis or the interior. We just got all the body work done. And this is where we're at. We are ready for 2K. So I think either tomorrow, which is Monday, or Tuesday, we'll get a 2K'd and then it can sit and cure and dry where we finish the chally off. And then we'll carry on with this. We're a bit behind at the minute with my modelling a touch. We've kind of taken over the UMP postage for that month or so. It really did slow it down and it kind of sapped a little bit of the old mojo as well, because I normally come out here quite early. I mean, it's like 8:30 in the morning now, and start modelling and away I go for the rest of the day. With doing that I had to stop. So I had to stop to check orders off, then I could carry on, and I had to stop to book them on. And each time I do that, I move my Mac around so it's more easy to use as an office environment, and that means putting all the modelling stuff away, which isn't the best way to do things. But anyway, we plodded through, and like I said, I didn't even realise it's been 3 weeks since the bench update, which is quite bad for me, to be fair. So, like I said, the Martini scheme, this was primed in UMP white primer, I think it was. And then it was base painted in Tamiya TS26. Kit decals, cartograph decals, they went on fairly trouble free. One thing I will say if you are building this is multi-section at the front. Let me zoom in a touch. This is all multi-section at the front, so you've got one section, two sections, three sections, four. I think there's 4 parts to this single piece here at the front. This stripe here is important to line up with that one there, like so. I'm not going to quite clicked in place. It's very, very tricky. These Alphas, these are better than the other ones. There's 2 types of the Alphas. They're completely different cars. There's the Bosch and Martini, and these are the ones with these deflectors on the windows. And then there's the red one and the Jägermeister. They are completely different cars, the 2 of them. This does fit on, it's just fiddly. Anyway, you can see what I mean. It lines up on the side. I put this stripe on first, lined it all up perfectly up here, all down here perfectly, put this on, and this was way off. And I was like, oh, you've got to be having a laugh. So luckily I could get this decal back off. I had a spare, so I cut it there, put the new one down, lined up. So when you're doing it, put this on last. So I would put this one over the wheel arch on, this one on the bonnet. Don't worry about the front one. That one will line up pretty well, as will the back piece as well. Get all those on, get this lined up at the bottom roughly, then put this piece on, line all this up, and then move it around accordingly. It's a bit tricky, but it's not too bad to do. Like I say, this is rather tricky to line up. It does go on, because I had it on earlier. It's just very tricky to do without any support from the body at all. There we go, that's what we need. So that's how she sits, like that. You can say, love the Martini schemes. Any alcohol or tobacco sponsored schemes I absolutely love. And then we've got the front bumper, which slots in there. So it's got a removable bonnet or hood, depending on the world you're from. And then that goes on there, like so. It's a good looking scheme, great decals, nice cartograph decals. A bit tricky in places to put on. yeah, a little bit of a pain here and there to pop on. So there's a few little touch-ups I need to do. I've also carboned the bottom here as well, and at the back I used Scale Motorsport carbon. I've got the 12 scale. It's a bit over scale, as you can see. But if you do the 24th, you can't really see it. You might as well paint it black. Honestly, you can barely see the weave at all. So I always go over scale just to give a little bit of a nicer look. Like I say, front, no real problems at all. It's a bit tricky around this front grille. We need to touch up a little bit of paint in here. That's been brush painted. Once we're 2K, you'll never see it anyway. But they're all pretty well line up quite well. Happy with how they've gone down. They've laid down really well the ultimate decal solutions. So no bother there. So that's that. Wing mirror is a yellow on this car, the number 5, Larini, and the other one whose name escapes me now. Very similar to Larini. Can't remember who it is now. There's yellow on this one, blue on the other. We've gone with yellow. Wheels, Oz Racing wheels. Prime UV white primer, TS26 again. I won't clear coat these. They'll be left as is. They're plenty shiny. And a few decals in the centre. All we need to do is the centre locks, give it a wash, and that's the wheels pretty much done. And then the trickiest part was this rear spoiler. It's multi-part. As you can see, we got up again in the scale of the carbon, because from there, it's massively over scale. When it's on the back of the car, and you're looking at it from a normal modelling distance, you can see it's carbon, but if you go any smaller you can't, which is why I do it. So it looks odd, but then it looks better. It's catch-22, it really is. But yeah, happy how it's going. Once we get a 2K, it'll be left to sit and cure, and then we'll start work on the chassis, engine, interior, what have you, and we'll crack on with that. This is a kit I've wanted to do for quite some time, so it's nice to get at it. And yeah, kind of flying solo on the car builds in a minute. Sam's kind of not moved away from cars, but he's struggling a bit. So Sam's gone to armour a bit more, which is good because I did it about the same time as well. So he can still buddy build. It's just the cars, they're all my own choice now, which in a way is nice because I can keep building what I want to build. But it is also nice to have somebody to build along with. Now, Challenger, if you watch part 2, you saw where we were at the other day. I'll try not to drop it again, hey? Not like we did last time. So we were all painted up, ready for weathering, and we've started the weathering process. Still got to paint these loose tracks. There's 2, one on the back, one on the front, opposing sides. But it's all been painted up, detail painted, and it's been given a wash now. So I did an oil wash, homemade, which will show in the next part how to do. We gave it a pin wash all over, removed all the excess, and as you can see, just from doing that, it added a huge amount of interest and depth to it. So it just shows you how much the weathering brings things alive. It really, really does. So we've got that. We've got the ECM table, which keeps falling off. And in the end, I thought, you know what? It's going to be so much easier to do oiled off filters and the pigments with it off. So I pulled it off. Sounds wrong. But yeah, we took it off and it's staying off to the very end. It'll just need a couple of dabs of glue. As soon as you come with the UMP washes and pigments, we'll glue it on and get it done. But what a great kit. What a fantastic looking piece of armour. It really is a beast. It's so big. It's huge. Such a big, big tank. Very, very nice. And yeah. Now, a lot of sag on my tracks, as you can see. I think there's even more around the other side. But the way we discussed this, it's 79 links. It is 79 links, I can guarantee it. For me, it's a little bit tight. So on this, all I've got to do is tighten that rear sprocket like that. And there you go. They go taut. There's slack up on the top, but you can't see it. So it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. And it should be exactly the same on that one. And there we go. So we can tighten it up when we're done. We can loosen it. We can get in there for our washes and add some detail to the inside of the track, so it's no bother at all. So 79 is the perfect amount, but it's going to be tight, and trying to glue this last link on can be a little bit troublesome. Then it'll be able to be done. I'm not saying it can't, but for me, I like to work smarter, not harder. So I put an extra link in there, made it 80 altogether, and like I say, just use the rear sprocket. They're very tight on the idler pulley at the front, so pulling them through is a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. So yeah, it catches on there, and the slack, it's not going to show underneath. I've really got to get in the habit of painting the back of my road wheels as well. I really, really do. I never think to do it, and then when you flip it upside down, it looks awful. But hey, who's going to see underneath anyway? Well, whether the front where you can see there. But that's it, coming along. So, like I said, we've got part 3 of the video underway. I have some footage already. It's an oil pin wash. The next one's going to be an oil dot rendering / fade. I don't think it really needs it, to be honest, but I don't think I'll do every area. I think we'll just maybe do the upper areas. I don't know. I'm unsure what to do, because it's a modern piece of armour. They do get very grimy, but this, I'm doing this on the Bovington tank, so it's never really seen any action as such, but they did get filthy. There's pictures of it. It's absolutely stinking with mud and dust and what have you. So I don't know. It's going to be a very tricky piece of armour to oil dart fade, because there's so many crevices and nooks and crannies and everything. So I really don't know what to do there. So yeah, whether we'll do the larger areas, we might do that instead. Hit the armour, because all around these grills it's going to be an absolute pig to do. So I think we'll do that. I think we'll just, any raised areas, flat, large areas, I think we'll do that instead, and that'll be better. So that's it. They're the 2 kits I'm working on. Enjoying that Challenger immensely. It's coming along well. And the Alfa, yeah, we'll get along with that. Once we've got the Alfa done, we're going to kick off with the Tamiya Ford Mustang. I've got a different scheme still. I was going to do it out of the box. I've seen loads of out of the box. I picked an aftermarket scheme, which again, I've seen a few of. But hey, it's such a cool looking car. I think I'm going to do in the Volt Mustang. Got the paint on the way from Gravity, Spain. I've got the decals on the way from IndyCal, and we will get that. And that's what we're going to do in the next video build. Now, spoons. We did some testing. Myself and Lee, 2 seconds, let me grab the bottle. Bought some pink primer. We got it, it's Steiner Res, and we've relabeled it our own. Now, it is pink, but it's also a very dark pink as well. So if I put a pick up on screen, it's these spoons before they were actually painted. So on the left, we've got Tamiya pink primer, which I've used for a long time. On the right, we've got this out of the bottle, and you can see it looks a bit dark. I think it's the light, to be honest, in the spray booth. This is more like its colour here. It is just a really dark, almost raspberry pink. And then the middle one, I added some white to it and lightened it. Now, somebody did say in the comments the other day on Facebook, try adding a little bit yellow to see if we can richen it, and I will. I'll try it. We'll see. And then these are the results. We're spraying TS 49, I think it was, over the top, Tamiya. It was thinned with Tamiya level and lacquer thin with retarder, through the apex 18 psi, 4 coats on each spoon, and it shows you the different depths. So this is this out the bottle here. So you can see underneath I've written on it UMP pink primer, and it's made it a lot darker. I say a lot, it doesn't show that much on camera, but it is. It's got more, it's definitely a darker tone. This has got a bit more depth to it. So out of the bottle, perfectly acceptable, nice deep, really nice deep red. And that's the reason around using pink or yellow primer. It adds depth to red. It also makes it cover quicker as well, so you use less paint, and it takes a lot less time to spray it. So that's the UMP out of the bottle. This is Tamiya pink. I've used this many times. I know how good it is. It gives a fantastic, lovely deep finish. And then this is the UMP mixture of a touch of white. Now, to my eye, there is barely any difference in that whatsoever. Maybe this is a shade darker. I don't think it is. I think if I mix those up, I could even tell which one was which. I don't know. I really can't see much of a difference there at all. I'm going to go with, this is Tamiya, this is UMP. Oh, yes. See, I was right. I was right. It was a pure guess, because I can't see any real difference. So that's good. If you have got this and it's a touch dark, because that is a shade difference, it might not show as well. There's a touch of a difference in there. I wonder if it shows with the light off. A little bit. But there's a shade of difference in there. These aren't cleared either. This is just a TS49. So yeah, if you have got it, it's fine out the bottle. For me, what I'll probably do is have a bottle like this, normal, for darker reds or any of the colours that need a bit of depth. And then I think I'll mix one up. I'll definitely put some white in there. And I'll try a little bit of yellow, and we'll see if we can get a bit more of a pinker pink, if that makes sense. But interesting test. It was Simon Shirley asked me to test it, and I thought I would. And there we go. That's where we're at with that. There we go. That's what we're working on. Charlie's coming along well. Alpha's coming along well. Once we get into clear coat, we can really progress with that and get it done. Not much work left in the Challenger now, and that'll be done hopefully in the week, and we get the next video up. Then we're going to concentrate on the Alfa. Then we'll probably start another piece of armour. Then we'll go to the Mustang. Yes. It's busy, busy, busy. But keeps the mind occupied and the demons at bay. So that's that. In other news, Friday night shows still going well. Still 7 PM start time. We've got we're doing Saturday mornings live on Facebook on my Paul ISM page and linked over to ISM. That's 9:30 UK time on Saturday morning. It's very, what's the word? It's very low key, relaxed. There's just a few of us in there, so it's a different kind of feel to the news show, and there's different people watching because it's a different time. What I've also been doing as well is Tuesday mornings live on YouTube at 9:30 in the morning. Again, we get different people because different time zones. I'm not going to say they're going to be done all the time. The daily ones are out the window because I've got so much stuff to do here in P, family, etc. at the minute. Everything's up in the air, and it's absolute mayhem at the minute. So the daily ones are out the window, sadly. But yeah, we're going to do these 2-3 times a week. One proper live show, and a couple of impromptu, low-key ones through the week. So if you're around, come and say hello, and we'll definitely have a chat with you in the chat. I did have something else to talk about. My mind's just gone completely blank again, and I forget what it is. Yes, I know what it is. 2 things. Right, number 1, Malls for Heroes auction is on for October. I got a feeling it said 25th. Can't remember now. Malcolm's watching, no comment. I forget. But it's penciled in for them. We had to move it because of all this nonsense going on at the minute. The COVID malarkey. So we'll be back for that. And next Saturday at 9 PM UK time, I will be a guest on Gilmon Dragon's channel, which is Red Dragon Model Works, I think it is, on the top of my head. Gil wants to interview me, and I thought, okay, let's do that then. So you can come over there and laugh at me being put under a little bit of pressure, and see what happens over there. So if you're around, come and say hello. If you've got any questions you want to ask me, fire away, and we'll see if we can answer them for you. And that's that. So, like I say, end of the week, should have another video up. We're back on Tuesday morning live on here, and then we'll be Friday night live on the normal show, and then Saturday morning live on Facebook. So, as always, check out Fantastic Scale Modeler Facebook page and forum, umpretail.com, myself and Lee's business, where you can buy everything from kits, thinners, primers, tools, paints, everything on there. Check out my Paul ISM Facebook page where all my personal modern work is shared, the Live at the Bench page for the live show, the Off Air Hangout group for the Off Air Hangouts, and make sure to come tune in our live shows. And if you've got any comments or questions, pop them down below. I do read and reply to every comment. It might take me a little bit of time, but I do get to them. And make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification, and give the video a thumbs up as well. I'll catch you all next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.